up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Rap and Wrestle podcast. You guys know me. My name is Derek. This is the Rap and Wrestle podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Rap and Wrestle. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you get all your streaming needs. Make sure you definitely check us out and subscribe. Today is a special day. Calling all the way from China. Oh my goodness. 8 o'clock in the morning out there right now. It's crazy. Buffa Aayooo in the Boombox. What's good, man? Pro wrestling's live action music video. What's good with you, bro? How's it going?
Man, it's going great, man. Great to be on, man. Great to be on.
Yeah, good, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. We were just talking a little bit before, calling from China, man.
Yeah.
Early in the morning over there. We making it work right now, though.
Hey, got to get it in, man. You know how it is.
Facts. Let's talk about. I'm gonna jump all over. We're gonna talk wrestling.
No problem.
Talk hip hop, all of that. But how did the whole thing with you deciding to wrestle in China? How did that all come about? Wrestling, with MKW and all that. How did that happen?
Man, this happened because of Pro Wrestling 01 in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I was living there at the time, and they would send us out to different countries in Asia representing Pro Wrestling 01. So I was just making connections there, you know. So after I left 01 back in, I think, 2017, I had built these relationships from back when I was wrestling with 01. So I had got a call from my boys about a promotion that they was going to start running in Macau inside of a strip club.
Wow.
So after 01, about 6 months, the company in Macau started. So I flew out to Macau, started living there, wrestling there. And after the company closed, I moved to Hong Kong. Hong Kong and mainland China is right there, just cross the border in mainland China, vice versa. So that's when I started wrestling for a lot of promotions in mainland China, like MKW. So it all started with Japan. That opened up so many doors for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Definitely dope.
Yeah.
So tell me what do you think is the biggest difference from growing up in the Bronx in New York and now living your life in China?
Ooh, man, it's night and day, man. It's night and day. I was born in the 80s, born in 83. So New York then and New York now is totally different. So I would say China, living in China compared to New York, you can just imagine how how different it is. One good thing I have to say about living in China is I don't have to deal with police harassing me,
Yeah.
Randomly searching me. There aren't black men in China getting killed by the police. That's for damn sure.
Oh,
so that's one good thing about living overseas. I won't say it's completely safe because I'm a black man. No matter where I go, I'm not safe. So I always gotta have my guard up. But you don't deal with a lot of nonsense you have to deal with in the States, just like overseas in most countries, especially in Asia.
Got you. I would say, what is the food like? What are some of your favorite dishes you've enjoyed so far living out there?
Oh man, here in China, I gotta say, man, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Chinese food because the Chinese food that we eat back in New York is completely different.
Facts.
The Chinese food we eat in New York is more like Hong Kong Chinese food. And I have to say, Hong Kong has some of the best food I've ever had anywhere in this world. But mainland China, man, honestly, I can't really say what's my favorite here. I can't really say, man. One thing I love about Hong Kong food is it's very westernized,
Mm-hmm.
In mainland China, they like to eat the areas of the animals we don't eat.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's very greasy, and I'm not good for the grease and all the extra calories and all that. But in Hong Kong, I love like the barbecue. That's my shit. Barbecue pork and rices. Like, that's my thing. And in Japan, like the ramen.
Okay.
A lot of the curry, like the chicken curry, beef curry. Those are like my favorites. Like, what else? Miso soup.
Yeah, nice.
Wonton soup. Like, I have a few of my favorites, you know. But it's not what anybody would probably think it is. They probably think I'm like into some weird stuff. Like, nah.
I got
I'm
you.
still a New Yorker, you know.
Yeah, of course. How long you been out there now?
Well, I've been back and forth to Japan and a lot of Asian countries since like 2011.
Oh wow.
That's my first Japanese tour of 2011. Then I would go back and forth. Yeah, then I moved out there full time in 2014. And ever since then, I just been like back and forth, like to different like countries within Asia.
Nice. That's pretty dope, man. That's a pretty dope way to live. Just traveling.
Yeah, man, pretty good run, man. And it's still going.
Yeah, facts. So just going back, you know, what was it that caused you to get into business and, you know, just attracted you to wanting to be a professional wrestler?
Back to childhood, of course. I wanted to be an actor before I ever wanted to be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even a wrestling fan at the time. So once I sat down and gave wrestling a chance and watched the full match, I was hooked. Because everything was included that I love. You know, I love to fight. I love to act. I loved acting. I love, you know, the Kung Fu movies. I love like the comic books with all the big superheroes all jacked up. So when I saw wrestling, I was like, oh, this is everything I love in one. So that's when the switch changed. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather be a pro wrestler than an actor or a boxer. So I was like, yeah, man, this is it. So ever since 1993, that's when the switch, I turned that switch and wanted to become a pro wrestler, and I just got hooked ever since. Nice.
Who would you say were some of your favorites that kind of influenced you and, you know, that really pushed the envelope for you?
X-Pac, 1, 2, 3 Kid. He was the first guy that got me hooked because he was a small guy, you know. His name was Kid, so I actually thought he was like my age. And he's in there beating up all these big guys. He could do what I can do it. You know, he was into the martial arts with all the kicks and stuff, things I was into. So I was like, man, this is my guy. I'm hooked. I'm gonna be just like him. So he was the first guy, and a few others were like Harlem Heat, big fan of theirs. You know, Rock Road Express, Public Enemy, Two Cold Scorpio.
Nice.
It's a long list of guys, man. Those were the ones that got me hooked, man, and kept me on track. You know.
Nice.
I just incorporated everything I liked in wrestlers, and you know, created what I am today.
Nice.
Take bits and pieces and, you know, incorporate them into my style and my look.
Yeah, no, definitely can see that. So for you, on the vice versa, on the flip side, what was it, or what was like that first artist when listening to hip hop that kind of like got you into the music?
I would have to say LL Cool J, Run DMC.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, I wasn't really into hip hop when I was like younger. I would hear it, like my cousins, my sister was into it, but only like listen to it if they had it playing or they was watching music videos. I didn't really know where like hip hop was or anything like that. But I used to watch like MTV and stuff. So I would see all the videos, and that's when I found out about like rock and roll. all these different genres. And with wrestling, man, like the different theme songs and stuff like that, that like got me like really hooked into music. Whether it was like rock and roll, metal, hip hop. I'm into all types of music. But Run DMC and LL Cool J, those are the first rappers I seen outside of music videos. Because you know they would be in movies and commercials.
Gotcha.
So, oh wow, like they're actors and they rap.
Yeah. Yep.
That really hooked me. I was like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know that's funny because I'm pretty sure you probably get this a lot, but it's like as soon as I saw you, it's like LL Cool J was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
With the Kango and everything like that. That was the first thought I had. I was like, oh yeah,
man. Yeah, man, it stuck because like, I say like back in like junior high school, before I had all the facial hair and the braids and stuff like that, people would say, oh, you look like LL Cool J. And like old pictures and stuff of me when I was younger and when he was younger, yeah, we looked alike. So when I decided to change up the image from All Money Is Legal onto the House Party, I was like, man, I want that old school look. So I was like, man, who can we take bits and pieces from? And it was a mix of LL Cool J and Run DMC with the, you know, the Adidas pants, the rolled up leg on one side, the Adidas sneakers, the Kangos, the chains, like, and the boombox, you know. LL Cool J will always have the boombox with the Kangos and, you know, gold chain. So I just incorporated that. And I was like, this is gonna be my new image, you know. So,
nice.
It worked out great. Nice. I love it.
So, like, you know, you said you changed, you know, your character. I just think evolution is, you know, it's a part of wrestling, and a lot of people who evolve, they always tend to last longer than those that don't evolve. What I know, you were Coolie K Pusha, Chaos, Chaotic Kid. You know, now you know we're Buffa. What was it? What was it that, you know, forced you to keep evolving and made you want to, you know, change who you were?
This goes back to my time as a tag team wrestler with my brother. All Money Is Legal. We always wanted to like switch up our look. Like one thing that we would get a lot of credit for was our outfits, because we always had like new outfits, different colors. And we always wanted to like change up our look or change up something about our look or like our in-ring work, like every like year or every few months. So I always kept that with me. Like I didn't want to have the same outfit. I didn't want to do like the same moves. I was always switching things up. And it stuck with me because, you know, you got to stay fresh. Because if you don't, you get stale. So I made sure I was like, man, it's been a few months or it's been a year. Let me switch something up, you know, like the style of my gear or, you know, the way I like wear my hair or like things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's still with me now. Like I used to always wear like the crushed velvet pants. Now I'm switching over to leather pants. So I'm just gonna go back and forth between the two looks. I'm not sticking with the leather pants, but you know, I wanted to try something different. So I've been wearing like the black leather pants now, kind of like Run DMC, LL Cool J from back in the days.
Got you. That's dope. You know, I'm here in Jersey, so I know you were in New York. Like I know coming up, did you get to experience wrestling at, I know CZW you wrestled at? Did you get to do Jersey All Pro Wrestling as well?
Oh yeah, man. All the top spots we were there. Shakara Pro, you know, the USA Pros, the ICWs. Yeah, man, we was in JP for a few years, but we wasn't there like as consistent as like a lot of other guys. Like we first wrestled there in like 2001. We had to the student show in Bayonne. Then about, I think like 2 years had passed. Then we came back. and started wrestling there like a little more consistently. So we'd be back and forth in Jersey All Pro because we was working for like a lot of different companies. And, you know, at the time, a lot of these companies were running on the same day.
Gotcha.
We had their little rivalries and stuff. So we couldn't like wrestle in JP as consistently as we wanted to. But yeah, we had about probably like over 10 matches there throughout the years.
Nice. Yeah. Jersey All Pro. I know that's one of the places out here that I feel like at all the big stars that kind of made it to TV, they all went through Jersey All Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
That's the spot. You had to stop there if you came to the Indies, you know?
Yeah, it was good. So I know it was tag team wrestling. I know it was pretty big too. There, CZW as well. And you know, somebody I know that was like a big tag team at the time. I know the Hit Squad. Did you guys ever get a chance to wrestle with them at all?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, in the Doghouse back in 2001. Back in 2001, we wrestled the Hit Squad. Like at the time, early 2000s, tag team wrestling on the Indies was on fire. It was it was the best. I think that's like the best ever tag team wrestling on the Indies. It was like the early 2000s. Now, when me and my brother became a tag team in 2001, one of our goals was to wrestle all the top tag teams on the Indies. And His Squad was one of them. So that was like our test. That was our test to go up against His Squad and see if we can survive. And we did. It was that match was crazy, man. It's a match people still remember today because my brother, like, he was supposed to do a spot where my brother was supposed to jump off a ladder and do something to, like, I think it was like Steve Mack. I forgot what the spot was supposed to be. I think he was supposed to like give him a splash or something like that. And this is like these fire ladders. This thing was feet.
Yeah.
The ladder was like huge. So I think he was supposed to jump off it like Steve Mack with like a splash. Then I was supposed to go up, jump off the ladder and try to hit him with a splash. But I think, damn, Mafia was gonna like spine bust me or something. So my brother goes up and my ass was only like 140 pounds soaking wet. This ladder outweighs both of us together. So my brother climbs the ladder. He's supposed to jump off and the ladder moves. Even though I'm holding it along with the referee, but we're both skinny. This ladder's huge. So when my brother jumps off the ladder and moves back, so when he comes down, his legs catch the fucking top rope and just, it was ugly.
Oh man.
It was ugly.
Wow.
It's on VHS. Somebody has it on VHS. It was rough, man.
Oh,
like the match was going so good, and that happened, and I was like, the match was done.
Damn. See?
I thought he was dead.
Man. I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, no,
somebody has it.
Monster Mac, I know he's a good dude, man. He always he's always helped me out with a lot of stuff when it comes to podcasting and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
that was one of the things I was like, I wonder if these guys ever cross paths, man.
Yeah,
that's cool that you guys did for sure.
Yeah, that's the first and only time.
Nice. So for you, what would you say for you? Like, what do you think personally is the connection when it comes to hip hop and the wrestling world?
Oh man, it's the music, man. The music and like I know there's a lot of rappers grew up wrestling fans too.
Yeah.
Because you hear them reference it in songs and stuff like that. So it all goes back to, like, I say the golden age of wrestling, the 80s and 90s. Like, that's, man, you could not, like, wrestling was everywhere, man. You could not ignore it. Like, if you wasn't watching, somebody was talking about it. You know, you just like, when I wasn't a fan growing up, but I would always hear about it. And I always see like the action figures in the stores and stuff like that. So that connection, man, like we're only like 11 channels at the time.
Facts.
You want some type of entertainment, you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, I always see like the connections, like even when I brought up like the Hit Squad and All Money Is Legal as well. To us who like listen to hip hop, like the way you guys dressed and the things you guys did, like that related to us, and it was just it was just like, yo, these are like our people, because that was just like,
oh yeah,
hip hop is like an urban thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, we always like representing hip hop, man. Just through the music, through the way we dressed. Oh, being a New Yorker, how could you not? How could you not?
Facts. So I know things have kind of changed from that time period when you started to where we are now, when it came to actually like trying to get in the business. There's social media everywhere now, so a video has to go viral and companies are looking at you. How was it trying to get in the business, and like what were the steps for you to try to even get noticed by anybody?
This came from word of mouth and mailing out these demo tapes.
Oh wow.
I started, man, from the bottom, from the dirt. Making the damn demo tapes with 2 VCRs.
Oh wow.
and a PlayStation for the music. Then editing it. I used to edit or I would like wrestling matches and demo tapes and all that. Music off of the PlayStation to the VCR and have it recorded. But once I did, man, I used to edit everything. So it would be the edit videos, the demo tapes. We would mail that out with a bio. I had a weight and stuff like that. We would take like the promo pics and we would mail all that out to these different promotions. Because at the time I had got I think it was it PWI? He had like a almanac.
Yeah.
Before like these different wrestling companies and the addresses to the schools or to the promoters. So I had these lists of addresses for different wrestling companies. So I would just like send the damn tapes out to them, to whoever. I didn't care where it was going, who was seeing it. And that opened up doors for us, man, because we got a few bookings off of that,
Nice.
So it was a grind, but it wasn't that hard because I already knew how to edit videos and I had all the equipment, to make that happen. Gotcha. So I didn't have to worry about it not being good or anything like that. It was pretty. It was pretty big to be able to do that at that time.
Yeah.
Or actual company doing it for you. So I was doing it on my own, and it got good feedback. People were pretty surprised about it. A lot of the promoters. So I miss those days, man, because you really had to work for it, man. You had to put in that groundwork. It wasn't, I just want to send a link here and there. Nah, this right here proved how much you wanted it. It proved how much you wanted, because you had to come out your own pocket to mail these damn demos out, and you had to put in the time to put them together, piece them together and all that, and do your research. You couldn't be lazy, man. You had to be about it to, get these damn demo tapes out, and we was always with it, man. That we just proved how much we wanted it. And fast forward, where I'm at now, man, it came from hard work, man.
Yeah, no, totally.
Strong work ethic from out the gate, man. I started off with a strong work ethic, so it just carried over throughout the years, man. But I mean, it's pretty convenient now, before the different links you could just send out with the internet, social media. But I miss the old days, man. The old days.
So you talk about the old days. So let's also talk about like being in the ring as well. How has that changed for you for when you first started? to where it is now in 2021?
Ooh, man. Man, I could talk about this forever. Like, I give the guys now, this generation, I give them a lot of credit for their creativity.
Mm-hmm.
But I just miss like the storytelling from when I grew up watching as a fan and when I started as a wrestler. It's so different, the in-ring style. You know, I had to switch up my style a little bit, and it wasn't really by choice. You know, I had to when I moved to Japan, because in the beginning, like as a tag team wrestler, my brother and I, we didn't go out there doing all the spot fests, all the high spots and stuff like that. And that's the reason why we get a lot of bookings, because we could work with anybody. We knew how to tell a story. We knew how to sell. We knew how to make our opponents look good. We just didn't sit back and think about ourselves or want to get all our shit in.
Yeah.
So that got us a lot of bookings. Because you see these two skinny kids from New York, you think you're gonna be zipping and zooming and flipping around all over the place, you know? People was looking at us in a certain way before they actually got to see us in the ring. They expected one thing and got something. So that helped out a lot too. But when I moved to Japan, you know, the style is so different. So I had to be retrained in that style. And out of all the places I've wrestled, or the countries I've been to, I just incorporated all these styles into one. You know, the strong style with the, you know, forearms, you know, the, you know, American style with the storytelling, the selling, the facials, you know, a little bit of the lucha libre style with some of the arm drags and hurricanranas. It's like little things that I incorporated that the normal fan or wrestler wouldn't pick up on.
Yeah.
The average Joe won't pick up on it, but I made sure to incorporate like all these different styles, because why not? Look at all these places I don't wrestle. And I'm the type of guy, like I soak everything in, you know? I'm taking from here, there, everywhere, you know, to be more well-rounded, you know? Rest in peace to Xavier, but to be as close to the all-around best as possible. I think that's something that's missing with this generation, you know? They're so stuck on one particular style because they see this one guy trending or, you know, going viral off of something he did. So they think they can recreate that. But it's like, no, this guy is going viral for a reason.
Yeah.
You know? It could be his like personality. It's too much like this guy taking this from this guy, that guy taking that from that guy. I feel like copy and paste wrestlers. They just like take from each other and they try to recreate it to expect you to get the same result. And it's like, no, you gotta be your own man, your own woman. You gotta be an individual. Like, why would you want to copy somebody else? Like, I've never been about that. I have so many guys copying me, even to this day. You know, it gets annoying, but I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, they're not me. People know they're not me. They can clearly see that. You know, I'm doing me no matter what. It's not really taking money out of my pocket. And if it's not, why am I gonna like complain about it? I'm still doing me no matter what. They can do this, they can do that, they can do everything I do, but I'm me. It worked for me for a reason. You know, I've been giving out the same product for how many years? It's still relevant. Probably more relevant now than I ever was. Yeah. I'm going to continue to be relevant because I know how to switch things up. And it doesn't take a whole lot. I don't have to like create a new character or anything like that. Just like tweak something here and there and it's brand new again.
Yeah.
You know? But I give the guys today like all their credit, you know. I ain't no hater. I have all the confidence in the world. I have enough confidence to go around. Confidence or charisma, I'll be a freaking multi-millionaire. So there's never any hate. Like, keep on doing what you're doing, guys, but I won't be doing it. I won't be doing it.
Got you. Perfect answer. How what would you say is there any difference at all between the crowds in China and the crowds here in the US and performing in front of them?
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely is. You can see what some of my videos, some of my matches, and you can tell there's a big difference. But I say this, it depends on the area of China I'm in, because China's so freaking huge. There's some areas where they don't know anything about wrestling. So when they see it, it's like all brand new. So of course they're not gonna react the way you would expect them to react. Because a lot of people don't know this. Like there's areas in China where they've never seen wrestling. Now the areas where they have wrestling fans, like the area I live in now, Shenzhen, like my last match, you could look at that and just see the reaction from the crowd. Like these are people that know what wrestling is. They are fans of it. They watch it. So they react like a crowd in the States. Yeah. You know, or a crowd in England, like even expecting it, because the crowds aren't that. The crowds in China aren't that. They're not that active. Like with the crowd reaction, it's not that loud a lot of times. You know, they're loud, but compared to the States, no way. But this last show, man, they were on fire. So it's getting to a point now where a lot of people in China are starting to understand and learn about pro wrestling, because we're running shows here on a more consistent basis. And wrestling in China is like about 5 years old. It's been around before that, but as far as consistency, I would say it's about 5 years old. You know, because companies like before that, they were run here and there, but not as consistent as shows are being run now with, like, you know, MKW with the Blast Off show, which is live every Friday. So people in China see it more now than they ever did before. So the crowds are getting a lot better. They're starting to react more like pro wrestling crowds that we're used to.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Yeah. Is there any, like, do you see any influences of hip hop, or do like people listen to like American hip hop out there in China?
Chinese hip hop artists as well. Like hip hop. Oh yeah, hip hop is, man, one thing I learned is that hip hop is universal. Not only that, but New York is universal. People love when they find out I'm from New York. You know, New York it's everywhere. Like the clothing, you got the damn New York, like, Yankee symbol on the damn shirts and hoodies. They have New York written across, like, the clothing, the shirts. Like, New York is everywhere. And you mixing hip hop, oh man. Yeah, they love hip hop. I give them that, man. They love hip hop. Like, even like drill music is becoming a thing out here, and like certain areas of China. Yeah, they taking it. They jumping on the drill wave, man. It's crazy.
That's interesting.
Like, it's just so wild, man. I'm like, really? I didn't think drill would make it out here. Hey,
I wouldn't think that either. That's crazy.
It's TikTok, man. TikTok is really, like,
true.
That's what it is, man. Because they watch TikTok like crazy out here. Like everybody's making TikTok videos with, you know, drill music and just like old classic hip hop. So people know about hip hop more now than ever. You know, thanks to social media.
Crazy.
See it as much, but it's definitely out there, especially with the younger generation.
Dope. So for you personally, you wrestle singles, you've been in tag teams. Yeah. Is there one you prefer? Do you prefer like either one? And also when it comes to tag team wrestling, do you feel like the art of tag team wrestling is kind of lost in the business today?
Oh man, I prefer tag team wrestling. Always, all day, every day, man. You know, I wanted to experience singles wrestling and have like a singles run, but I never wanted to stop teaming up with my brother. But, you know, life comes along, you have to make decisions, and he made the decision to, take some time off from the business. I won't say he quit or anything like that, but he took some time off, which led me to move to Japan full time. Now, if I had the choice of being a singles wrestler and having a singles run or being in a tag team, I would have stayed in the tag team.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why is because the art of tag team wrestling, it's almost non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
And I know if my brother and I were still a tag team, I think it would be than it is now. Because we was never about all the crazy high spots and stuff like that. And I think that would have, I think a lot of tag teams would have seen that and more than likely would have, kept their style kind of old school. They would have kept the art of tag team wrestling within them instead of trying to chase the wave of all these crazy, tag team spots and stuff like that we see today. So it's all like that. The art of tag team wrestling and just wrestling in general, man. Storytelling, psychology. It's it exists with certain guys, but not as much as it should with a majority of these, locker rooms. So the art of tag team wrestling is almost it's almost out of here, man. I hate to say it, man.
I totally agree.
That's why I don't watch it, man. I don't watch current wrestling. I really don't. And this is the reason why. I can't, I watch some of my boys, I watch my boys' matches, and I watch matches of a lot of the students that are starting out in the business, because I always tell them to send them my stuff. Send them coaching, online dojo, and some of the students, they want to learn. That's one thing I was kind of I don't know about this generation. But after I started doing the online dojo, I would talk to these guys coming up, and they have a great head on their shoulders. They don't really want to try to, emulate what's going on, wrestling today with a lot of the styles that these guys are bringing to the table, and a lot of the crazy bumps and ridiculous high spots.
Yeah,
they're more into the old school style because you don't see much of it now. So I always tell them, I say, man, send me your promos, send me your matches, I don't care. So I watch their stuff, and it's current stuff, but I watch it to critique it and give them, constructive criticism, give them as much feedback as possible. And I'm like, all right, I think the business is in good shape with a lot of these guys, because if you keep on seeing the same thing, you're gonna want to see something different.
Yeah, fact.
So where pro wrestling always goes back. So it's gonna go back to the storytelling. It's gonna go back to the psychology. It's gonna go back to the characters, the gimmicks. It's gonna turn back around, man, because it's too much of the same thing. I know I'm not the only one. You want to see something different, something that you grew up watching, the things that got you hooked. And I don't know, man. I understand that, guys want to, they want to stand out. They look at some of the old school wrestling that's boring. That's this, that's and if you only knew, these guys worked that style because they didn't have to do anything crazy.
Yeah, facts. Agreed. Totally agree.
Great athletes, but hey, there was great athletes back in the days. They just didn't have to do all the crazy stuff that a lot of these guys are doing.
Yeah, no, totally agree. It's so crazy. I'm just trying to think of tag teams of today. It's so hard to even think. You could think of all the classic tag teams, the Dudley Boys. We talked about you guys, the Hit Squad, Hardy Boys. You could think of all these names, Road Warriors. They wanted to be a tag team, and they showed that you could be famous, get money, and be successful as a tag team. You didn't have to do it as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. It's so hard. Like I can only think of like the Young Bucks or something like that,
Yeah.
Private Party, you know,
Oh, yeah.
people like that. It's not too many, and you know, it's a shame because in today's wrestling, especially on the indies, I feel like there's so many guys, and a lot of them could benefit from actually being in a tag team instead of, you know, trying to make these single runs. But, you know, I guess we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes full circle, like you said.
Yeah, it will. It will. I don't know if it's going to be next year, the year after. I say in the next 5 years, for sure, it's going to come full circle.
Sure,
it has to, man. It has to.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if this might have changed, but, you know, whether you were in the States or, you know, right now where you're currently living in China, what are some of your hobbies outside of wrestling?
Oh, man. I wouldn't say this is a hobby, but I do a lot of commercials now and voiceover work. You know, like I said, I wanted to be an actor, so it's come full circle. It's full circle. I'm starting to do like a lot of things outside of wrestling, and after, you know, the pandemic, I look at it as a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You know, curse because, you know, obviously what happened, a lot of people lost their lives, you know, family members, friends. I've lost some as well. And the fact that, you know, it shut down everything. People couldn't work, you know, people couldn't make a living, people couldn't pay rent. And I was in that position. So once the pandemic happened, you know, work got cut completely out. And I was out of work for like 6 months. And that was the longest I've been away from the ring since I was 15 when I started. I never had that amount of time off. So it made me expand my horizons and try other things, other avenues to make money. And that's when I got into the voiceover work and the acting, doing commercials, and I have a few opportunities coming up to do movies as well. So
nice, very nice.
Really looking forward to that, you know, because these are things I was gonna do later on, like when I was retired. But you know, I was able to do those things now while I'm still active, which is great, man. So I say that's like one of my hobbies, as well as, you know, working out.
Yeah.
So that's I can't even call that a hobby. That's a must. That's part of the job.
Yeah, facts.
That's
facts,
part of.
Facts.
Only thing about that is I'm not getting paid for it, so I kind of look at it as a hobby.
True, I got you.
You know?
I got you.
But
that's
yeah,
cool,
man. Like the normal things that we all do with our time off. Like I'm not used to having this much time off. That's another thing. Like I'm used to wrestling. Asia, because, you know, it's not like the States where there's only shows on the weekends. And if you're lucky and you have a contract, then you might work a few days out of the week, you know, on the weekdays. Like in China and like just Asia in general, man, it's like there's shows like every day. Like Japan, there's shows every single day. There in Asia, you're gonna have like some shows running like every single day as well. Like certain tours run every day. So I wasn't used to having time off, but now that I have time off, you know, I'm into the acting, you know, into getting my workouts in, as well as, you know, just going out and like relaxing with my girl, you know. Yeah, going out to eat, going out to drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
The normal things that I lost touch with, like being a, you know, pro wrestler. You know, a lot of these things I wasn't able to do as much, you know. So now I'm like taking full advantage of like a lot of the free time that I have. So,
that's good. Cool, man. That's definitely it's good. Good you get to enjoy that time for sure. I'll ask this because this is always like a debate, especially coming from New York. Who do you think is the greatest rapper all time?
Oh man, this right. This is tough, man. This is one of those questions I always think about, and I try to figure out who I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I think about it, it changes.
Yeah.
It always changes. Damn. From New York, man, I will have to say, I want to say Rakim.
Rakim, that's a good one.
But this is the thing, I have to go with people I grew up on.
Facts.
And that I listen to. So I would have to say Nas.
Nas, I can take that. I
want to say Tupac, but you know, people consider him like a West Coast artist and all that. So I'll just stick with Nas.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I take Nas over Jay-Z. And I know another debate is Nas and Jay-Z. I'll take Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. You know, Tupac, Biggie, that's another debate. I always say Tupac. Because I love that he was an actor as well. And he wasn't like one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And what's another debate? Damn. What, LL when like KRS won?
Yeah.
But I respect KRS One. You know,
gotcha.
I gotta go with LL, man.
I got you. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So for you, let's say personally, you know, what are your goals? What are your remaining goals that you're trying to accomplish with wrestling?
Oh man, my two main goals. One is to start my own dojo and promotion here in China.
Nice.
Yeah. I got my feet to pavement and, you know, early stages right now, but it's being worked out. You know, I'm just hoping everything just works out.
Yeah.
As smooth as possible, but I know it's going to be tough. So I'm just like, I know what to expect. It's going to be tough. So as long as I'm prepared and I know this, I should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my second goal in pro wrestling is to sign with a big company in the States and, you know, get that TV exposure that I never got.
Got you.
Got it overseas, but that's overseas.
Yeah. Nah, I got you.
In my home country, hey, I got to get that, man. That's one thing I don't have, you know. Yeah, and as marketable as I am, I don't see how I was hoping for or the goals that I set, I was able to accomplish them. So I know it's going to happen. I don't know for what company. I don't know when, but I know what'll happen when it's supposed to happen. You know, That's just life.
Yeah,
I don't know where,
totally
man, but if I could choose one, I would say MLW.
MLW, that'd be nice. That's a nice fit.
I'm feeling MLW. I think that'd be a good fit for me.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, because it's not their roster isn't that deep, so which is a good thing. I won't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, you know? Facts.
You know, like a lot of guys in some of the bigger companies, you know, no matter how great they are, they always get lost in the shuffle because, you know, roster's so thick and so deep that, you know, you got a lot of guys who need to get TV time, so some guys get overlooked, you know.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
MLW would be good, you know. I like it, man. I used to watch it like when they first opened up back in the early 2000s. That was like always the company I wanted to work for, but it closed down before I was able to work for them. But seeing them back now and seeing them, they have like the Vice TV deal.
Yep.
And it's solid, man. I would, if I could choose, I would.
Nice.
If anybody's watching from MLW, if your boy is Paul, man.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. We're gonna tag him. We're gonna tag him in this. Don't worry.
Nah, I mean, how can you deny your boy? Super marketable. You know what I mean? Experience. Well traveled. Everything work is on point. Like, man, come on, man. I let the work speak for itself. Like,
facts. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. It's definitely
Hey,
gonna
man,
happen.
I'm with it, man. I'm not against like coming back to the States and, you know, getting a singles run going, because I never had a singles run in the States. Everybody remembers me as a tag team wrestler.
True.
Which is great, you know. I love it, but I'm a singles wrestler now, you know. I'm Buffa.
Yeah, facts.
It's a whole different man here. I got some miles under my belt, you know.
I know it's coming. It's coming for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, hopefully, you know, this will be a little part in helping that happen. So
yeah,
you know, Buffa, I want to just, you know, say thank you, and I really appreciate you, you know,
welcome,
taking
man.
the time out, getting up early in the morning over there in China and doing this for me, man. I really appreciate that, bro.
I had to wake up anyways, you know.
Facts.
I mean,
if fans want to connect with you, they want to follow your career, follow your journey,
sure.
How would they do that on social media?
Social media, my Twitter is Buffa_Aayooo. That's 2 A's, 1 Y, triple O. You can check me out on YouTube at youtube.com/allmoneyislegal, the number 1. I have about 300 videos throughout my career.
Nice.
On YouTube, you know, from the beginning of 2001 to now, videos, matches, promos, all that good stuff. Check it out. Instagram is Buffa_Aayooo, just like Twitter. 2 A's, 1 Y, triple O. And on Facebook, it's Marcelo Forrest Rides, nickname Buffa.
Nice. Definitely, man. Once again, Buffa, I really appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it too, man. Keep on doing what you're doing, man.
I'm trying to make it just like you, man.
You're making noise. You're making noise. I see ya. That's what's up, man.
I'm trying,
you know,
but
giving guys like me opportunity. That it's all love, man. It's all love.
Definitely a fact right there. Guys, make sure you definitely check out Buffa. Follow him, subscribe, see all the great things that he's doing in his career. Make sure that you follow RapnWrestle, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get all your streaming needs. And once again, for this episode, is Derek, is Buffa, and we are out.